yes, let's get our shit together, cross our T's, dot our I's, work on cyber security laws, privacy
Regulations,
regulations, regulates
regulators.
with regulators.
Mount up.
This show is for entertainment only. We are not professionals, and nothing said here counts as real advice. Beyond this point, what you do with the information we discuss is solely your responsibility. Please do your own research before making decisions based on anything mentioned in our chats.
Hey, everybody. I'm Carson.
I'm Paulina.
I'm Brandon.
Welcome to the group chat. So today we're going to talk about AI. So y'all, when did this kind of take over our lives?
Guess what? ChatGPT became known to the world in, I think it was November 22 when it came out, and when it came public, and that's when everyone took over or started using
So
it,
really,
and it took
2022
over.
seems longer than I thought. I mean,
Yeah.
seems like I haven't really been using it that long.
Yeah, I think so. That's
22.
the way I feel about it.
So that'll be 4 years this November. That's kind of crazy. I
Part
didn't
of our
think.
life.
Yeah, well, I guess chat was the first, right? ChatGPT was the first mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
there's
remember
always
using it at school.
Yeah, no, it was definitely here recently. I mean, there's always things that we use without actually knowing it was like AI, like Siri. If you had an iPhone, like Siri's been around forever. That was AI. Or anything with translation, that was also AI. I don't know what else. All the recommendations, Netflix, all the algorithms, they're all out there.
True.
True. But we don't really think about that as AI necessarily. At least in my mind, I don't see that as AI like the Google Translate or DeepL or whatever. Like I don't think like, oh, that's AI. I
But it
think of
is.
AI as like ChatGPT and Gemini and all of those things. I'm like, oh yeah, that is AI.
Hmm. Yeah, but definitely the whole training models on information, updating those models, giving them, different ways to think, so to speak. That's been going on since 2022. Wow. Just blows my mind. I remember probably it wasn't 2022 that I started really using it every day or even every week. It must have been 23, 24. Trying to think back now. It had to have been maybe mid 2023 that I was using it for, teaching related stuff, just helping with projects, adding a little bit of creative input and then seeing how it could expand on my ideas. But not much more than that. I wasn't using it for much more than that in the beginning. I don't know about y'all.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I think around 23, that's when it got into. I started using it more and more.
Yeah, same here. I think 2023, 2023 definitely. Same idea for projects, for just double checking if my students didn't use AI to write their papers,
Yeah,
those type of things, Um,
sure.
rather than I don't know, using it almost like every other day for something.
Seems like it's our go-to now. Like when I reach for my phone to find the answer to something and I need it quick and I need a reliable answer, well, I go to Perplexity. I start talking to it. And it's pretty trusty. It's pretty fast compared to going to Google and typing, swiping, hoping to find the right page or hoping the first few results are relevant enough or useful enough. But it's really changed the game. I think we can all agree that our lives are way more productive. Um, we just have everybody has their own assistant. It's like you're not alone when you have to plan. It's not alone when you have to evaluate. And so there's really no going back. And I wouldn't want to, honestly. I think it makes life better. I don't know about y'all. I think I see more net positives, of course.
For now, yes. I don't know. We have to wait and see how it progresses. But for now, I think, yeah, it's definitely something useful, something that we need, and, well, it's helped me a lot for definitely a
Yeah.
lot of work and everything, just in general, like, we use it for everything now, it's not just for work, for sure.
Yeah. And it's interesting what you brought up, Carson, that it's you go into, into using AI, but it's like you don't really necessarily have to look to use AI, especially if you use like Google Chrome. I don't know what websites you guys use, whatever, but
Mhm, mhm.
which platforms, but it automatically gives you AI generated answer,
That's true.
right? On top of the page, you automatically get like the AI answer. Um, and I'm one of those people that I'm a little bit skeptical when it comes to AI answers, especially within like teaching English field, because it's one thing to teach English based on grammatical structures, right? And from the textbook. And it's another way that the way that we speak and communicate, like our day-to-day life. And sometimes I see the answer that it gives me, and I'm like, technically, grammatically, sure, yes, but how many people actually use this structure every day? Or how many people do actually use this phrase every day? And that's where I'm sort of like a little bit skeptical because on one hand, yes, it's a good tool and it can tell you the right answer, but you still sometimes need to do that like a little bit of extra research and explanation because
Totally.
it might not always be 100%. Um, One way I agree with Ben, and that definitely has made our life easier. And for example, when I do my definitions for my students, because I do quizzes with my students and so on, and when I do the definitions, obviously it's much easier to take the words, put them into, I don't know, Gemini, and be like, hey, can you spit out the definition for this word on a B1 or a B2 level? Great, that works. But I still need to double check if the definition that they give me is the definition that I want to give my students for the fact because I don't know, there are so many words in the English language that have one word, but it has, I don't know, three different meanings.
Right.
And many times I encounter that they gave me a definition of this and it's like, oh, but that's not the one I meant. And then I have to go back and I still have to say, hey, can you give me a definition for this context, not this? And
Right.
then they have to give me the other definition. So I don't know if it's necessarily faster because I
Well,
think I think it could be faster for me just to put in that word and I don't know into like like a dictionary and you get all the different definitions right away. I don't know. That's just my
yeah.
opinion.
You definitely have to babysit it. You can't, like, put your brain in a jar and say, "Do this for me," and expect it to be perfect. Because I have the same thing happening to me sometimes when I'm using Perplexity, not selecting any specific model, just using their built-in, I think it's Sonar is what they have right now. And so I'll ask, for example, "Give me 15 fill in the blanks to practice all the present tenses in English." And so it's auto generates these sentences. And like you said, grammatically, okay, sometimes I say usually, I'd say it's about 90% that grammatically they work. But then a lot of times I'm going back with my students and saying, hey, like, uh, in the real world, we don't say this. It would more likely be this. And so, yeah, to add to what you said, you have to hold its hand. That's not to the point where we just, you know, leave home and say, take care of the house and do all my work and file my taxes. And Brandon, you had something with recently with finance or some accounting issue, right?
Yeah. No, you definitely have to go through and check what you put in, or check what you put in, but also check what it gives you. And that's something that, well, lots of times we work with students when they use it, they don't do it. They throw it in information, they receive it, and it's like, all right, this is the answer. It's like, nah, go through, look at it, see what it's saying. You have to evaluate it and not analyze it and see if it makes sense or not. Because sometimes, yeah,
Totally.
it's not perfect.
Yeah. And what scares me is that, for example, I have one student that I can see her teacher's tests are done, I would say pretty much with AI.
Hmm.
And especially those like sentence transformation things.
Yeah.
And you take a look at it and you're like, I would never say this. a person, who has been speaking English for so many years, so to say, pretty much since I was a kid, um, you look at that and you're like, "What?" Like, yes, grammatically, sure, it makes technically sense, but, like, in the real world, nobody talks like that. And
Yeah,
you go
it's a hard
question
thing.
after question, and you're like, and then I have to tell the student, I'm like, "This sentence, yes, it makes sense, but
But no.
please don't go out into the world
But don't
speaking
say
like
that to
this." I'm like, "This is very AI," like, "Please don't do it."
yeah.
So,
That is the other thing, exactly. I'm, like, telling my students that, "Hey, this is Old English, we don't use this nowadays as often. Yes, grammatically, it's correct. Yes, you could say, 'No sooner than he did this, that,' or 'You ought to have done that.' No, you should have done that." Um, yeah, it's funny, it's entertaining, but sometimes it's annoying, and you want it to be more modern, and use language that we use nowadays because learning a language is great on paper, but the practical side of it is obviously the most important thing is you need to speak what the people are speaking and how they're using the language now is what matters most. So tricky.
so I definitely think that it has, like, its, negatives and positives, like, its cons and pros. My goodness, can't speak today. My the cons and pros. It's starting to sound like I'm AI, over here. But
And another one.
I'm I'm a little bit skeptical. Like, I use it, but I try to, if I can, I try to avoid it. I prefer to do a little bit more of my own research because I don't always feel like I can trust it 100%. Like, okay, for quick facts, sure, but
Mm,
in-depth research, I'll try to get different articles, different videos, and see what is out there to also get different opinions and perspectives.
that's wise. That brings up a good point. I wanted to ask y'all which AI you use, like which AIs, models, whatever, which plans do you guys use?
I use Perplexity. That's when I use like the most often. I use it almost probably for sure every single day. And that's my replacement for Google. So before when you thought of something, oh, I need to Google that. Well, now I use Perplexity, and it gives me the information. And like the best thing about Perplexity is the sources. It provides you with all the sources for whatever it is you ask. So like Pauline, you're just saying like you don't trust it because yeah, where did this information come from? There's some that are better, and they provide the sources and actually go in and look at the different sources, read the articles, and say, okay, yeah, it actually said this. It makes sense.
Okay. I never used Perplexity. I never even heard about it. That's how
Yeah,
much into like this AI world I'm into that I don't
yeah.
really. It's the typical for me is the typical Chat GPT for very quick questions. That's why, like I said, I don't really use it. Um, and Gemini, like Google Gemini, to sort of just see what I can do and see what is the general idea, but not. I prefer to still go to my news tab and read the news and go into YouTube, watch some videos rather than using AI. I'm
There you
I'm
go.
I'm a little bit skeptical, like I said, and I don't
Hmm.
know where that comes from, but I think it's just I have it somewhere in my brain. I'm like, oh my god, AI like is gonna take over the world. Robots are gonna take over the world, and um,
Ah,
a
you're one
little
of
bit
those.
like, yeah, a little bit. Well, not to an extreme, but I think also with, you guys know that I write, so it's like from an artist perspective, for me, AI is sort of like slop. Um, I don't love it, because you see so many people being published, so many people that are making music, um, that everything is pretty much just done with AI completely. Their writing, their novels, they don't even bother to edit, and you read the book and you're
It's
like,
pretty
"This is
sad.
complete AI."
Yeah.
It's like it takes over the creative aspect. Um,
When
and
it
of course,
does,
it's one
it's
thing.
terrible. You're
Yeah.
right. When that does happen, and inevitably it was going to happen, and it will continue to happen. But you're right. You're right.
Um, and I think it's, on one hand, I get it because some people just, write their books, create their music, whatever, for money. That's what the world, is about. Um, but at the same time, I think there's somewhere that we need to draw the line. Like, I don't think writing books, making music, with AI, or even creating podcasts. I've heard podcasts that were done by AI. It sounds so weird. It scares me. I
Yeah.
heard it. I was like, oh my god, how?
No,
Um,
please no, please no.
so like we need there needs to be like a line. Like we need to draw a line somewhere. But for example, if we need a little bit help, with descriptions, right? Carson, you know what I'm talking about. Like, when you put
Oh,
your
oh yeah,
description, you write it, and you're like, okay, let's tweak this. Maybe
right,
let's find a better word. Maybe let's find a synonym. For those things, it's okay as long as we
right,
still know how to write. But I
yes,
think right now there is, I think that literacy rates are going to be dropping with AI. That's sort of
yeah. It's
my
gonna be less
answer.
important
They already have.
for kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, that's perfect because we were talking about a little bit about the different models, different platforms. I also use Perplexity like Brandon. Actually, Brandon was the spokesperson. He got me into Perplexity. He told me, I think we were both using the free version. Um, and then Brandon told me about you get a free year if you put your PayPal information in.
Yeah.
So I got a free year of Pro, and I've been taking full advantage of that. And only recently did I really start exploring the selecting different models for different purposes because on Perplexity Pro you could choose GPT 5.4, Claude. I can't remember which version of Claude. It's not the premium Claude, it's not the best, but it's still quite good at certain tasks. And so, like Brandon said, the research is great for perplexity. It's hard to say. It's a perplexing word, that perplexity. I'm perplexed. Um, And so research is great. It gives you the sources, it gives you pretty good explanations and analyses. You can, follow up questions, blah, blah, blah. I think Claude might be a little better at that, even maybe a little bit
Mm.
more natural sounding. And I'm still exploring. I'm still trying to get a feel for which ones are good at what. But ChatGPT seems to be the best at the creative writing, having more creative and natural language, I don't know, processing or whatever. It's giving me better advice in terms of creating sentences, content for English classes, for example, resumes. So be it. Creative writing descriptions, things like that, and not taking over my writing and taking the feedback I give it. So it's nice that you can use Perplexity to select the different models, and it's a little bit better than just going to ChatGPT and using their 5 or 10 queries every 5 hours or whatever. And so, but like you said, the whole put your brain in a jar thing and let AI make movies and music and write and all that is getting some interference here.
Yeah.
They're coming for you.
Yeah, they're listening, right? Uh, So you got to be careful. You have to be careful about how much we have to be careful how much we rely on it and we implement it, and that we still maintain control over what we produce and what we share with the world, whether it's whatever form of media it may be. We have to keep it human and not just give up, because if we do give up our creative talents and interests, and for a lot of people it's their purpose in life, then those jobs should be the ones people should have when AI is to the point where it can take the kind of more mundane, take over the more mundane professions, the more, jobs we don't want, essentially jobs we don't want. And once AI could take care of that, then we could start focusing on the things we do love and the art that we do want to create, or whatever creative pursuit, creative um, profession.
Yeah, but it's just sad. It's just really sad of like, I see it so much with, like I said, I've seen with podcasts, I've seen it with music, with writing, and it's just frustrating.
It's in everything.
Yeah.
What do you think? So once again, going back to kind of what you said earlier, Paulina, about your student that uses it. How do you think? Well, I don't know. Maybe your student is an actual adult, but what do you think about how the younger people coming up? How's it going to affect them?
I think they're not gonna have the research skills that we have. Um, or their research. Well, don't want to put all of them in the same basket. I don't want to like generalize because I feel like there are still many kids that mm, do their research, but when you take a look at a lot of them, they're like, okay, Chat GPT or Gemini or whatever, like it's gonna tell me the answer. I don't need to do any extra work. And I think it's just gonna, as I said, like literacy rates are gonna definitely start dropping. I read an article somewhere, I don't remember what was the name of the article. If I find it, we'll put it somewhere in the description thing because the article was about how like each generation up to I think was like millennials um was a generation that kept getting so to say smarter, right? It was smarter
I
than the
heard about
previous
that.
generation. And then after millennials, like all of yeah, all of that just started to go down the hill. And doesn't really surprise me because that's the, like Gen Z and whatever, Gen Alphas or whatever they have now, um, are constantly with their phones, they're constantly using AI. Um, some of them don't even know what a dictionary is or how to use one. They might know what it is, but they don't know how to use one. So I think it's definitely going to affect how they think, how they do their research, how they write, right? I see with a lot of students that a lot of them write as they speak. And it's like, well, that's probably because you're not reading enough. That's probably because you're not learning like properly. I don't know. It's a bit scary.
It's definitely something to be on the lookout for and be aware of, and figure out how to implement it into the education system in a way that doesn't take away from using these skills that we of course have grown up developing. And I don't know about the truth of what you're saying, that and plus I don't know if it's something that's very easy to measure, maybe impossible, because there's a lot of things you would have to a lot of factors you have to consider when determining an entire generation, or
Yeah.
grouping everybody into that category, when realistically we always just kind of shit on the younger generations, like historically. Oh, you guys have it so good. When I was young, I had to walk to school 10 miles in the snow uphill both ways, like, for example.
Yeah.
And so it's very, very common to start saying, yeah, well, we were great and you guys fucked it all up. What's going on? So I don't know if that's true, but maybe you're right. I think it's definitely something like a fear, probably worth having, and a conversation worth discussing in terms of how do we prevent kids from losing skills that they will need when you don't have internet, when power goes out,
Exactly.
when power's out for a week, a month, or longer, or EMPs are being used, and all of a sudden all your electronics are fried. Well, at least it has been. And then I guess with modernization, it's become less and less of this necessity to know how to do all these things, because we could just go to the store to get our food, right? We could just go to the store to get another computer if this one stops working. We don't have to go hunt every day. We don't have to wake up and go put food on the table. Literally, like, life is pretty easy for us. It's amazing that we still
Right.
get all stressed out
Yeah.
when it's not fight or flight. Like, our lives are pretty simple,
Yeah.
and
Without a
nobody's
doubt.
going to come take it from us. But our brains are still wired that way, and we have to respect our nature. And by using too much technology, by relying on AI too much too soon, especially, I think it's not wise.
Yeah. So since I'm the OG of the group, like I remember back in middle school, actually going to the library, like our school library, like doing research, like going through books, getting information, writing it down, the bibliography, everything.
To the bibliography
My
citations.
God.
Oh yeah,
And
MLA
now,
citation,
exactly, it's at MLA,
MLA, APA,
MLA, APA,
APA all the
Chicago.
way. I don't know about you.
the footnotes. Are we putting footnotes?
Exactly. In-text citations, all of that. And now, like when the kids have to do any type
Terrible.
of research, they just go type it in. But before it was just Wikipedia. So Wikipedia come up, whatever's in Wikipedia, they put it in. And now they don't even do that because with ChatGPT, they just throw everything in there, or whatever chat says. Well, that's their answer, and that's what they're putting in their
Oh my
research.
God. Starting to feel old. Like, yeah, you're saying you're the OG, but like, I was still doing that. I'm talking about like, I don't know, 2010, 2011, I was still doing that. Like going to the library, looking through all the books. The teacher would tell you, it's in this section, ask them,
Exactly.
you can only read it in the library. You can't take out the book, and you're sitting there for hours trying to read the freaking chapter because you can't get this information online for some reason. Um, and then Wikipedia came around, and then, like you would try to be smart. So you'd go down to the old pages that they put down, on the bottom of the page, and you're like, okay, so let me see where they got that source from. So I can't just copy and paste from Wikipedia. So I'll paste the other source as a reliable source because Wikipedia was not a reliable source.
Yes.
Yeah, now like they have it so easy. They have it so easy.
Too
My
easy.
goodness.
And that's the
Too
problem,
easy.
because they
Yeah.
don't think, because everything's so easy, you don't have to do any work. And they don't put in the work to see if, well, the information they have is actually correct.
Yeah, that's the loss of critical thinking. It's the loss of maybe I should check this with another source, or maybe I should just check another source.
Any source.
But that
The one
source,
source.
any source, 2, 3, 5, like that's why all the teachers were saying you have to have at least 5 sources. Okay, so this gives us a bigger picture of the dilemma in question or whatever it is that we're researching. And so I was kind of in the middle there with the whole library thing. It was like there was a Rolodex, yes. And then there was also the online program where you could search and then it would tell you where in the library the book is. So
Yeah.
what's I don't know if it's the Dewey Decimal System. Am I
Yeah, it
just
sounds
throwing that
familiar.
in
Yeah, I
there?
remember
Something
that.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you would just fucking go figure it out. You're like, okay, it's not there. And then you like go back to the computer and be like, where is it? I keep looking there. It's not there. And then oh no, I read that completely wrong. Then you go back. All right, here's the book. Okay, great. And then guess what, everybody? You open the book and you
And you
start
actually
looking through
read
it.
it.
And you go to the index. You could look at the glossary, the table of contents, and you start like navigating this physical book, which has so much knowledge. Maybe it's from one source, but it's still a source of knowledge. And then you put those words somewhere else. You start to paraphrase those words. It's not their words. Now you're putting in your words.
Yeah.
And like, this is just, I mean, now that I think about it, I'm thinking that was actually kind of fun, especially when it was a project that I wanted, like maybe that I chose
Yeah.
or a topic that was interesting to me, but
Yeah.
that's kind of fun. And we don't do that very much now.
It's
It
gone.
was fun. You're right.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like teachers just turn you over, like, here's 30 minutes. Like you guys got 40, you got the whole class. Here's your projects. Go find stuff. You're on the scavenger hunt and look at these books that otherwise you would never open, and yeah.
And you had to be quiet.
And you had to be quiet.
I think that was a real struggle. Like being there with your friends trying to do research and like not get in trouble, not get kicked out of the library.
Because you would see like a kid in the book and you would be like, that's you, and everybody starts, is laughing, but like laughing silently and you're trying not to get kicked out.
Or they would use some language that nowadays nobody would say, and it just sounded so like offhand, like no, out of pocket, just like no, you would not say that, and you just show your friend, and then you're just like, like you lose it, and then the teacher's like, "Carson, I told you already, you gotta get out of here, you gotta get out of here." Oh my god, like you're at the dinner table, different story, different day.
All right.
It's the same idea. Sometimes you just can't, and like us recording the welcome to the group chat, like couldn't keep a straight face. Anyways, that's way off topic, but that's just how these things go. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's not so off topic because it sort of shows how AI changed our world as well, right? Like, we had all of these fun memories of going to the library, doing our research, sitting with our friends in the library, trying not to get kicked out. And here are kids, okay, I have a project due tomorrow. Let's see what, Google tells me, or like ChatGPT and Gemini. And like, perfect, I can send that in. And it's like, no research done, no communicating to your friend. Just, it's
Cold.
sad.
It's
It's
cold.
sad. Guys, we need to start doing our own research projects. Like, we need to, like, start meeting up and going to the library together.
Well, we
Carson?
do. I
The
mean, we do a
library.
little research, but we don't go to the library. We don't go to the library.
Not
But we
anymore.
use AI.
Yeah.
But then we say, where is this coming from? Let me watch a video. Let me get this source and then this opposing voice and then compare, see how I really feel about it, see what seems more genuine, and then make a decision based on that, but not just the low hanging fruit. First thing I read, take it for the truth, the absolute truth,
Put it
nothing but the
in.
truth.
Make an entire presentation off the first thing that you see.
It's and sometimes you wonder if that's what people are doing, and
No,
surely they
no,
are.
they do.
Surely they are.
Yes. What about another platform we haven't talked about yet? Notebook LM. Have you used it?
Notebook who?
Notebook LM from Google.
LM
Hmm.
No,
language model.
I think so.
No.
All right, so it's one
So
that
Google's got Gemini and Notebook.
yeah,
Okay.
Right. All
Notebook
right.
LM is I think it's probably the most underrated and underused chat AI system out there. So basically, what it is, you upload the sources that you want into it. And then with the sources that you upload, you can do, well, whatever you want with it. You can, like, for example, Pauline, you were talking about earlier about like a podcast, there's an AI podcast. So say you're in class, you take notes and you have all your notes. You can put it in, and then actually with Notebook LM, it will create its own podcast with two people talking and it's going through the information. So it's like a way for you to listen and learn whatever it is that you uploaded, learn the information. Or you can create like a PowerPoint, or you can create actual like quizzes, like to go through and actually see if whatever you studied, if it's notes, for example, to go through, it'll create quizzes for you to go through and give you an opportunity to study. It's something that for anyone that's a student, they should definitely be using it instead of ChatGPT. But because you obviously have to do your work before, you actually have to have the notes. And then you take your notes, upload them, and then you have a whole new resource that's going to help you prepare for to study or to you have an exam or for whatever it is that you need.
Interesting. Sounds pretty cool.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah,
Haven't
no, that's
used
Sounds
it.
good.
more interactive, which I like.
Definitely.
Not just words on a screen.
So this one I'm using also now for different things, but yeah, it's
Okay.
good.
No, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Definitely something that could come in handy for all of us since we're all still teaching.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Are any other questions about AI? I mean, there are plenty, but
Yeah, but let's address the elephant in the room. Is AI going to take over the world anytime soon?
is it going to
When we
steal
put,
our jobs?
is it going to steal our jobs? Is it going to start killing people and pushing buttons that they shouldn't push?
Well,
You seem like you're kind of paranoid about this. So
there was a case quite recently that AI like told somebody to like, you know, kill themselves type of thing.
damn, what a
I
moody
don't know
AI.
if it like told
No,
them, but like it like hinted or like there was something about it.
there's several cases with that
It
happening.
was
So
quite recent.
yeah, in the last couple of years, yeah, there's been a few.
No, I'm talking about like 2 weeks ago or
Oh,
something like
okay.
that. I'm talking about like
Well,
really recent. Um, I'm trying to
It
remember.
sounds familiar. Yeah. Did the person kill themselves?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I'm
It
talking
like
about the person as well as the AI. I'm sorry, but that's just fucking absurd.
I don't know how old they were. I think they were already like they weren't a teenager. They were like a full grown adult, I think. Yeah, I don't
How
remember.
are you gonna take advice like that and then blame AI? And plus, what did they feed into this AI before this AI said maybe it would be best for you to? I need to see all of the facts
Yeah.
because
It
this
was
sounds
apparently
like
Gemini. Eh?
oh well, Gemini. Stay away from that Gemini. You
Yeah.
never know.
It's yeah, but there have been like a couple of instances like that. So But that's the
It's
thing.
fucking
It's like
crazy.
it really depends on like what are you putting into the bot, like into the chat, like that it gives you that type of response, you know?
Yeah, because no, Brandon, go ahead.
No, I was just to say, I think this has to go along with the fact that the younger generation now are so what's the word I'm looking for? They're so much into that digital world that they don't have much interaction outside of it. So their world is all digital. So instead of actually going out and talking to people, their friends, family, whatever, well, it's like, well, all right, well, there's AI. I'll talk to ChatGPT, or I think there's other programs. I think there's one called Character AI, where it's just like literally for you to have like a conversation, like to have like a friend, and they have all these AIs that they choose to communicate with instead of actual people. And then we run into this problem that we don't know what's happening or what the AIs are saying or what's trying to influence they have on these
Well,
different young people and decisions that they're
well,
making.
there's also that whole kind of ass kissing that AI does when you start having these ideas and you're adamant about your ideas or you're adamant about being right in your decision, convinced that what you're thinking is the right thing. Then AI all of a sudden starts going, "You're absolutely right. That's spot on. Way to think about things." And you're just like, I don't need you to give me a pep talk. Like, I don't need to be like
You
Yeah.
don't need a
encouraged.
cheerleader.
I don't need my cheerleader. Thank you. I just need to know, like, should I be drawing these conclusions based on the evidence, based on the accurate information that's out there? So maybe this person, I'm just speculating, which probably I shouldn't do, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm speculating that this person maybe shared a lot about their life, their feelings,
Everything.
Yeah,
everything.
what I'm
Everything.
looking at right now, it's something along those lines, yeah.
And so there, then once the AI is kind of programmed to be your friend, your ally, supportive, even if supporting you means telling you to do the thing that would end your life, I don't know how it would get to that point. It's just sad that humans can take it to heart what a computer, what artificial intelligence would tell them to do. And it's not too surprising because we do trust it to an extent. All of us, we trust it as much as we personally like to trust it in terms of the information it gives us. So you can't really blame the person, but you can't blame the AI either. The AI is designed this way, and us as humans, we as humans need to be better equipped to understand the difference between a human telling you something versus AI, which doesn't have a soul, doesn't have a spirit, doesn't have experience as a human. It never will have experience as a human. So when we're talking about things that are so human, so unique to what it means to be a human, we really, really should not be giving it any credibility in that domain. And so it's sad. Yes, it's sad. Breaks my heart to hear that somebody took such bad advice from a non-being.
Yeah. On top of that, I mean, there is also like cases where people go like get married to AI or like they have like these bots or like I don't know, like they get into like relationships, like full on
Yeah.
relationships with AI. And for me, like w- it just blows my mind. Like I don't even have the words to describe like how I feel about it because it just blows my mind. How are you gonna be in a relationship with a bot, with
Computer.
something and like
But y'all, have you seen the movie Her? Scarlett Johansson and Joaquin Phoenix. It's from like 2013, and that's what it
It's
is.
a little, it's ahead of its time. Yeah, I need to watch it
Exactly.
still. Yeah.
So that's why before we talking about ChatGPT kicked off around 2022, but this is something that's been around for decades. It's like
True.
2013. There was already a movie talking about this situation that's for us seems so out of the world, but
yeah.
in reality, it's not. Not now.
I mean, it does sound way outlandish now to us and to me that you could have a relationship with AI, but when we get to the point where robots are looking more and more like actual humans, that's not going to be too hard to believe. Because if that AI robot can do essentially the things that a human could do, at some point it's going to be a little bit hard to really make that judgment call. And maybe it's going to be scary. I think it would be quite scary, yes, to realize that this person you've been talking to is not a person, but in fact AI. But then you imagine having this robot who walks, talks, and acts like Tony, and he does all the things you want him to do. He says all the right things. He knows about your experiences. I'm
I don't
not
know, it's
saying, I'm
still a
just saying.
robot. It doesn't have a heart. I don't know, like, no.
I
For
know,
me,
I
it's a
know,
hard
no.
no.
I know, no, because you can't, like, obviously to replace the person, right? But let's imagine, I think it was Black Mirror. Could be Black Mirror or something. It's always Black Mirror, right? But you're a widow.
Yeah.
Knew
You're
you were
80
gonna
years
go there.
old.
I knew it.
Ah, and
Yeah.
you're not telling me that there is this AI who looked the way, maybe not like somebody you knew, because that'd be creepy, but maybe the way you wanted it to look, and it was there for you, and you only had maybe 5-10 years left to live or something, like, and you didn't have anybody else. All your family had already passed away. You're old as dirt. Um,
Just date around. Screw it. Like,
date
I don't
around.
know.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Dating at 80 or 90 sounds pretty easy, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
Be a little
yeah, there's gonna
cougar there. No, I'm just
probably be
joking.
2 or 3 people in your locale.
In a nursing home.
You know, exactly. I don't know. I think there are definitely situations where it would be less awkward, less weird, less
Yeah.
unbelievable. But we're not to that point. What are our thoughts on robots and all that jazz?
No, I get what you're saying. First of all, I just have to say I get what you're saying. I know where you're going with this.
I
I
wouldn't
think
like it. I'm just
there would
saying.
be, yeah, I think there would be situations where, so to say, it would be more, so to say, acceptable, if you want to put it. Um, but for this moment, at this moment, I don't think that's like the healthiest thing. I don't know.
No, no, no. I don't think there's any health benefit to this at all. No, no, no.
The same idea when like you see people getting married to like dolls and things like that, and you're like, is everything okay up here? Sorry, but like you need
the
maybe some therapy.
the lights are on, but nobody's home. Dang.
Sorry, Brandon, go ahead.
No, just
Brandon's like,
thinking
I
it
don't
over
want to
there.
deal with robots. Fuck robots.
Nah. Just thinking of,
Sorry.
what is it? iRobot, the movie Will Smith. Like, also, I can
Will
see
and me.
that's I can see that happening now with like the idea that all the companies, like with Elon Musk has his robot, what is it, Optimus, and there's lots of
Mhm.
other Chinese companies, also different brands, and I think Nvidia has robots also. Like everyone's working on robots, so even though it's something that the three of us we don't want, it's gonna happen. It's
It's
probably gonna
happening.
be sooner than we think.
How soon do you think, Brandon? What's your estimate
Oof,
until we start seeing them walking out on the streets and carrying groceries and stuff like that?
I don't know. I want to say probably what we're in 26, so maybe about 5 years.
Paulina, 5
Yeah,
years?
I would say the same thing because you already we already see, so to say, robots on in certain workplaces. Like, those typical, like, so to say they're machines, but
In a warehouse. Or,
yeah, they're still to a certain extent robots, right? So if we can get technology that far to help people in warehouses, or delivering food, there are those little tiny robots that deliver food as well, or as waitresses.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, you're seeing that more and more.
Yeah, like
True.
I think
5
five to
years
seven
till
years.
humanoid robots. Of course, I'm talking about humanoid
yeah,
robots.
Yeah,
mass production.
yeah, 5 to 7
5
hours.
years. 5 years. I
I
think
think.
that's large. No, go ahead.
I was just saying. I think maybe 5 years max. I think it might.
Max.
Yeah.
I'm gonna counter by saying 5 years minimum. Just because of global economic situation, potential increased global military conflicts, I think we're going to be a little distracted in terms of like financial ability. I don't know that for one, people will be able to afford robots, and two, they'll be able to produce them at a level. So I would say 5 years minimum. I would say between 5 and 10 years, we could start seeing them. But obviously, nobody knows because there's so many factors that are changing every day. And like you said, there are so many different companies working on these different humanoid robots. I mean, perhaps if there was more cooperation and they could buddy up, maybe we'd be making a little more progress. But everybody wants to do their own thing, and everybody wants to be the first one to have
Exactly.
that big hit, that one humanoid robot that doesn't kill you.
Get that government contract.
Yeah, but yeah, it could be pretty creepy. I don't want
Yeah.
one in my house unless it's going to just exclusively do the dishes. If it just does the dishes, it just stands there, and even like
Uh,
I'll just put a dish on the counter and be like, "Thanks, Carson." I'm like, "No, thank you, motherfucker."
I'll
You
do
We
the
have
already have
one
dishes.
job.
dishwashers. We have dishwashers per day. I mean, yes, we have to load them,
Uh,
unload them, but
your spouse is not a dishwasher, okay? Let's not be ridiculous here. In my house, there's no dishwasher. We have
Oh,
everything else. Well, except for a dryer because we're in Spain.
we don't
No
either.
drying
We don't have.
machine for clothes,
we
but
have a dry.
you don't have a you have a dryer.
Yeah.
You're breaking
Yeah,
the law. I'm reporting you.
yeah, we have dryers.
To the
You
AI
have the sun
police.
outside. You have the sun and the wind out there every day. It's just España. You don't need a dryer, man. You're just killing the environment. What's wrong
We
with
don't
you?
have a balcony.
All right, then go ahead. You can have a dryer.
I got nothing to say about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the dishwasher is crucial. And so it's not a robot. It was a robotic kitchen. It was basically a kitchen, something I found out about years ago, I think. Costs 250,000, and it could prepare all these meals. It had maybe 400 different recipes, things it could cook. It could clean the kitchen, it could clean the dishes, put things like that away, and I was thinking about investing. No, 250,000? That's a lot of money. But think of how much time that would save you. At this point in my life, if we're counting cooking and cleaning, there's 2 hours a day. There's an hour to 2 hours a day every day, right? Think about how
What are
much
you gonna
more you
do
could
with
do.
all that free time?
Something productive, of course.
You say that right now, but if you actually had that, I feel like that's something that we always, as humans, at least for me, like I have a dryer in my house. I don't have a dishwasher, but I have a dryer. And it's like, oh, I'll put the dryer. That means I can fold the clothes. I can do something more productive. I can do. That doesn't always happen. Yes, there are some days, but there are others that not really. So I think I don't know.
You're telling me
Yes, I'm telling
that
you.
you telling me that a robot would clean your whole house, your bathroom, do the dishes, maybe occasionally cook you something. You wouldn't do that for 20,000, 30,000? If I could have one that I could trust to do those things, I would invest even maybe 50,000 and make monthly payments because of how much more freedom that would give me in my life. Obviously, I have a flat. If I right now would it be worth 50,000, right? But 10,000? Sure. If I had a house, imagine. Like there are people who would really benefit from this, especially people who have like 3, 4, or 5 kids. Imagine,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
There's definitely a market for it.
Definitely.
No, there definitely is a market, but I think like I'm at an age where like what I'm 30. My partner is also in his 30s. Like we're healthy enough to be doing the things around the house without anybody else's help. Like we have the strength to do those things. Okay, it takes a little bit more time. We're
Yeah,
not in a rush. Okay, the clothes, yeah, we can fold that tomorrow. We don't need to wait. Like it can wait. It can be there. It's fine. Like I'm not in a rush to do things around the house necessarily. There are days and days, but I don't think it's a necessity. I think it's something that I see as like a luxury thing versus a necessity. Like it's not a necessity.
total
Definitely.
luxury. Absolutely. Absolutely, it's a luxury. It would be a luxury, but a lot of people would take advantage of it. And of course, that's just one application. That's the home application, but we don't stay in our homes all the time. So having a robot that could do many more things for us could be pretty enticing.
I think something like that, for example, when you go away on a trip, for me, that would be amazing. If I go away on a trip and I come back and my house is all nice and clean because I didn't have a chance to clean it before I went on a trip, then yes. But how many times a year do I actually go on a trip? Like, is it worth for me to invest in a robot that is just gonna clean my house when I really, need it during those couple of times a year? I don't know.
It's a business opportunity. You have your business, you have someone, you go on a vacation, all right, send in a robot to clean your house, be ready and clean for you when you get back.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Feed your cats.
Play with the cats,
Yeah.
pick up the salt thing that falls or whatever.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, their hands, like, they really need to improve their motor skills. It's just, you saw the way I put a glass in the dishwasher? Bro, no, secure that fucker. I don't want to open the dishwasher and then break glass every time.
Early
So
stages.
it's too early to say yes. But it's probably gonna happen in our lifetimes.
Definitely.
Definitely. That's for sure.
Like I said,
I know.
Elon Musk wants it to happen as soon as possible, and he has the
He wants a
funds.
lot of things.
Yeah, but this is one of the things he's really focused on. He has the funds, and I don't know if he puts his mind to it. I think it'll happen. He says he wants to sell them for about 20,000. I think.
There you go, Carson.
So he said it's a price that where almost everyone can afford it. We'll see how that goes, but
Hmm. Well, it's another car. I mean, it's almost a car. You could get a There are some new cars in the mid-20s, 30s. So, for the people who are making bank, who are earning
yeah,
six figures, then sure.
that's nothing.
What about the rest of us?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, right now, it's still very early phase. I mean, the same thing with you look at Tesla, right? Same idea. I mean, a lot of people were really skeptical also with Teslas. I mean, it's a car that can drive itself, technically, you know? And there were a lot of problems with Tesla. I'm pretty sure they still have some sort of issues. I don't know. I don't really follow up. Mm, it makes me think about, okay, if Tesla had that many problems, um, how many problems will those robots have? Like, I think that's a little bit more of a complicated thing to create. And
Right.
the number one rule, technically, of the robots is supposed to be that they're not supposed to harm people or kill people or whatever. Hmm. It's like, okay, great, but same idea with Teslas, right? That technically they were supposed to be self-driving cars, everything was supposed to be great, and then things happened. I don't think it's always going to be like 100% accuracy, unfortunately.
Never.
Yeah, that's kind of the argument that I have a little bit hard time going along with, that at some point it's going to be indistinguishable from reality, or robots are going to be on that perfect level. They're going to have perfect dexterity and they're going to move fluidly. They're going to be able to look and sound and feel and express like a human. But good point, Paulina, that the self-driving cars, that whole thing is still not perfected. And that's been in the works for 2 decades. I mean, at least how long now? And so
Yeah.
there you go. Like, a car just has to drive, right? A car has to get on a road, get off the road sometimes, be aware of pedestrians, be aware of cyclists, adjust according to geological conditions, blah, 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 blah. There is like a finite set of conditions that they can train and account for with the cameras, with the sensors, and blah, blah, blah. But then, well, a humanoid robot has got to be way more intelligent than that if it's going to be out there with us in the real world at the grocery store or walking down the street or you name it. So
You don't
five,
want it
10 years, I'll sit on that. 5, 10 years, and
to.
they're still gonna be fucking making mistakes. You're gonna find robots like like dead bug on the
Like, you don't
street.
want to at the supermarket just picks it up and like an orange and throws it at your head. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, we're closed today. We had a few meltdowns.
Go robots had a meltdown. Sorry.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it's gonna be funny. I mean, it could be really entertaining. It could also be really scary.
I'm leaning more towards scary.
Both of you are in the fear wagon. I just when I see those thumbnails, it's what was the one I saw today? Is AI hiding its true power?
So dramatic.
It's not hiding anything. We control it. We give it the power it has. What are you talking about? It's not hiding shit. Is AI going to kill us? Well, we kill ourselves and we kill each other.
Yeah, we're
So
pretty
what do
good
you
at
think
that.
it's going to do? You really think it's going to be that different? If we're designing it in our image,
Yeah.
then what do you expect is going to happen? Either it's going to work with us for some time, we're going to have symbiosis, symbiotic relationship. It could last 5 years, it could last 5 decades, it could last 5 centuries. But there's a risk, a huge risk that we have to be willing to accept in order to integrate robots and AI into the level playing field with us. If we are giving them enough power to be with us on this same level, well, how's that going to play out? At some point, they can absolutely replace us. And then history at some point would have no trace of us if AI so desired. This planet could, at some point, have no trace of humankind. That's scary. Yes. We're not going to see that. I mean, I don't think so.
I hope not.
Not
But
that quick.
thousands of years, hundreds of years go by in terms of the universe fairly quickly.
I think a lot of it is also who's in control. So obviously, like all the different robots, who's the person or the company behind it, or the different platforms that we use. Also, what parameters are they including for the use of their systems? And I think that's something that's also extremely important.
Totally. There's so much that goes into it. That so much that we can't really consider. We don't have time to research and know exactly how all this works. We just get to play with it. We just get, this is cool. This does this. Oh, it's getting more realistic.
Yeah.
But
Did you
what does all
see?
that mean?
Did you see what happened with Cloud, or not Cloud, but Anthropic and the government like a couple weeks ago?
Anthropic and the government. Oh,
I
Yeah.
heard
that sounds
something
familiar. It was
about
a
it.
headline, but well, let's
So
tell us.
I try to remember. So basically, that the government had a contract with Anthropic. They were using Cloud for for everything that they were doing. I think it was a contract that was worth about 200 million. And basically, the CEO of Anthropic said that, okay, you can use our system, but there's like two things that you can't do. And it's one, use it to, was it like for surveillance of US citizens, and for like to have it for like complete control of weapons or something like that. And basically with everything that happened with Venezuela and now with Iran, like the government was like, all right, we need more power. We need to use more of your platform. And they were like, no, like these are our two requirements, and we're not gonna give you any space with that. They got rid of the contract, and within like a couple hours, like OpenAI was there, and they was like already announcing that, okay, yeah, the government's gonna be using
Uh,
ChatGPT now, and now we're not using Claude anymore. And they basically like put Anthropic on like a blacklist. Like they're like the only American company on this list. But as a result of that, people saw what they did, and so a lot of people stopped using ChatGPT and started going to Claude.
Hmm.
So their so
How
their
funny.
their numbers went up and ChatGPT went down because of what happened with them and the government.
okay, that makes me want to switch over even more. Thank you, President.
Yeah, no, Claude is. Yeah, I have it there. I got to use it more often, especially now.
We have to keep in mind that just as easily as we use it for good, it could be used for evil. And people in power make decisions for the many, and oftentimes not consulted with the many. And so That's a real danger. Yes, that's a existential threat. And
But
then also no, go ahead.
no, sorry, continue. Mine is a little bit
That's
longer. No, I wanted to bring back to talk about the video that you I don't know who was. I think it was you, Carson, that you sent the video with
I
Bernie
didn't do that.
Sanders and Claude.
I don't send things. I don't send videos.
No, you know,
My
something
my robot
Lisa.
my robot does that. I don't send shit. I'm too busy.
With Bernie and Claude.
Yep.
And oh my God, what I found really interesting. I mean, I'm aware of these things, you know, but it's like to actually hear it from AI in itself to, you know, that, oh, well, we, you know, accordingly adjust the prices. We show you these specific things according on what information we get from the companies. It's like, of course, yeah, we know that. Like I think we're at an age that we're aware of how sort of the
Data is being
system
used.
is being used, you know, and all of that. But at the same time, when you actually hear that from AI, from Claude and telling you like, yeah, well, they're using this and this to, I don't know, show you these type of prices, or to show you this type of information and about the political things, the political campaigns and all that. I was like, okay, I'm aware of this, but at the same time, hearing it from an AI, like it
Right
just
from the
like
source.
you're like, are you shitting me? Like, I know this, but at the same time, it's shocking, like jaw on the floor type of thing.
Yeah. Had to take a deep breath on that one because
Yeah.
it's like you gotta crawl before you walk type of concept in terms of we are not even in control of our own data. Data brokers and companies and governments retain it for as long as they damn well please. We can sign up for subscription services, Brandon, like you and I did with Incogni, for example. They could delete our data on our behalf. But if we don't keep subscribing, well, then those companies are just like, well, the statute of limitations, bullshit, jargon, yeah. And so we have no protections as citizens against these companies. Data brokers shouldn't exist. Tell me one good reason why that information needs to be saved for all of eternity. It doesn't. So we don't have a free, open, private, secure internet as it is. And then there's AI. Oh, AI is just going to get even way more information, process it way faster than a human, put that in those little boxes, send that to these companies so they can use
Yeah.
it. And goodbye, privacy. There is none. It's been that way for years, but it's only going to get worse. So, what did Bernie say? We should put what's the word? Moratorium? Is that the word I'm
Yeah.
thinking? And so, right. Yes, let's get our shit together, cross our T's, dot our I's, work on cyber security laws, privacy
Regulations.
regulations, regulates with
Regulators.
regulators.
Mount up.
Oh man, but yeah, that's a thing. We're not ready. He wasn't ready. No, we're not ready. We need time. Please take 5 to 10 years before the robots are walking on the streets because there's so much other shit we need to be doing.
Yeah. With
Unfortunately, I think it's gonna be more like social media. Like we came too late for the regulations and put everything in control or put everything in to try to control it, and it's still not fixed. And now we're moving on to something that's even bigger, and the problems that we could possibly have are going to be greater. And there's not going to be any regulation because everything changes so quickly. It's going to be
yes.
That's it.
impossible.
The technology outpaces the regulation and the legislation behind it. I mean, that's been known since the beginning of time, I mean, since the modern age. Yeah. And so we have to expect it, but at the same time, we do need to have the conversation. We do need to try to bring some things to light and focus our energy on what really matters. And also the fact that slow down, everybody. You don't need a robot. Paulina, you can do the house stuff when you can get to it. Most people are
Yes,
capable enough to
exactly.
do it. All right. So this could be great, but the world is not perfect as it is. There are still people living in poverty. There's still ridiculous wars, needless wars being fought, people dying. A lot of people in Europe and the United States struggling to afford their lives because of this, that, or the other. Maybe it's regulation in some areas is too much, in some areas it's not enough, and it's these wealth gaps. And so, how can we say that we are in a position to bring these shiny new toys to our house when we can't afford basic things?
No.
No, we can't
No, we
afford to
can't
travel as
afford the
much as
freaking
we want.
gasoline. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
Jesus.
So it's great, and I love the sci-fi movie that we're living right now, but at the same time, it's not a movie. The reality is pretty awesome as it is. Life is great. Get out there and live it. Have conversations with humans. Find your passion, work on it, work toward it, and don't rely on technology to make your life better. What more can I say?
No, and that's what I also said in our chat when I sent the message. Like, what scares me is that yeah, everything is just there. Like, people have just access to all of the information that they want and need or whatever. Well, they don't really need it, but um, like back in the days, like you would have like a file if a building burnt down, that file is gone.
It's
Like, you're
gone.
not gonna
File
have an
files
extra
burned
copy.
up.
That's it. Like, or on a floppy disk. You had a floppy disk, it broke down, it's not on the computer for some reason. That file is gone. Like, you're not gonna get that file. Now, everything is just out there and floating in the cloud and other places.
That's wild.
It is wild.
Yesterday, I watched a movie called Mercy. I heard some people, different other podcasts talk about it. So basically, what it is, it's I think in 2030, and it's in LA, and so they've been having lots of problems with crime and everything. And so they create, or there's an AI that's the judge. Well, in the end, it's the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So whatever happens, you go in front of the judge, or in front of the judge, in front of the AI, and you have an hour and a half to fight your case. And obviously, you have like all the information because everyone's phones are all linked to the cloud, and so you have all the information. Everything is there, but you have to put together your case to prove you're innocent in front of the AI. And I was like,
Interesting concept.
yeah, it's like, I think with
Interesting.
there's so much faith that people are putting into AI, I could see that happening at some
Yeah.
point in the near future.
Right. Maybe not so drastically as a judge, jury, and executioner, but maybe as a teacher, maybe as a
Yeah.
babysitter, which I don't agree with.
Mm,
But hey, it's all about what the governments are willing to pay, what services they're willing to pay for, which things are going to be valued by the population. And that will determine how and when we use AI and robots. And it may not be up to us per se.
yeah. And to sort of go, connect it to this, but um to not put trust into, AI, into like as teacher, well, as babysitters or whatever. Um I think I heard somewhere about therapists, about AI being like a therapist versus like you would pay, I don't know, less or something like that versus a regular therapist or vice versa. I don't remember what it was.
Hmm.
Tony told me about it a few months ago. And it's like, I don't know if I would want AI as a therapist. I get the
No,
appeal of
thanks.
it because it's right there. You can sort of connect pretty much from
Sure.
whatever place in the world, you can sort of have a session whenever. But at the same time, like, if they're telling people to sort of kill themselves, like,
Hmm.
do we want that as a therapist? Like,
Yeah.
how reliable is that? Like,
So tell me how you feel. I feel like killing myself. Go ahead. Great idea. That's really something, Carson. You should go for it. Um, excuse me? I'm just here to support your decisions.
yeah, scary.
So,
Oh, any other questions? Do we have anything else to discuss, or we're just in like this little mode of shit? Like, the world is going to be a scary place.
I think
Already
it
it is a
already
scary
is.
place.
That's what
Shit.
I'm saying. That's what I'm gonna say. Say we're already there.
but it's also not that scary, and it could be a lot
Yeah.
scarier. So we have to have these
Very true.
conversations. We
Yeah.
have to be real and say how we're really feeling about this, what we're thinking would be a good idea, what wouldn't be, what should we be cautious of, what could we be excited about, and how can we be realistic more than anything. So if anybody have anything else they want to share?
I think that's about it. I think we have
All
to
right.
take some time and see how things progress because everyone's going to be affected, obviously.
We're
True.
gonna come back to redo this episode in about like 5 to 7 years, and see if we have those little
The little
humanoid
robot buddy right here. Hey, bruh. Hey,
Hey,
brobot. What's up,
Bobby.
bruh? Shit, bruh.
I think maybe in 5 to 7 months we could touch back on this and we'd have a completely different conversation.
True. We'll have to do it. I'll have to do part 2.
Maybe.
Well, thank you for watching. If you found anything at all interesting or useful, please give us a like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks, everybody.
Ciao.
Peace. And so, like Brandon said, the research is great for perplexity. It's hard to say. It's a perplexing word, that perplexity. I'm perplexed.
I think it was you, Carson, that you sent the video with
I
Bernie
didn't do that.
Sanders and
I don't
Claude.
I don't send things. I don't send videos.
No, you don't send things
My
to
robot.
Luca?
My robot does that. I don't send shit. I'm too busy.